Hey guys, welcome back to Jordan's Room. I'm here with Jessica Brody. How are you? How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thanks for jumping on, and apologies again for last week.
That's
Shaking
so
my head, a lot
fine.
of
It's so
shaking my
fine.
head's going around.
All good.
So yeah, how have you been? How's lockdown? You're currently in Melbourne at the moment, am I right?
Yeah. So this is lockdown number 6, and I think we just had it extended yesterday. So
Oh, no way.
at this, yeah, it feels like I kind of just live in like a perpetual state of being locked down. So I'm used to it now.
So what?
I feel good.
How long's this new one done for?
I don't think they've announced it. So at the moment, we've been in lockdown for 3.5 weeks, and they've just said that it's going to be extended, but they haven't said how long.
Oh, the
So
exact
who
amount,
knows?
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I think we've been in lockdown for like 2 or 3 months. I honestly can't remember.
yeah,
It's crazy. I actually just I actually can't remember what it was like to fucking. I feel like we're in bloody North Korea or something. You
yeah.
know what
You
I
become
mean?
adapted. It's like you become
Yeah.
institutionalized to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very bizarre.
It's such a weird time.
I think it's weird as well because when, like, having done lockdown for so long last year, and then you come out and then you readapt to the normal world so quickly,
Yeah.
and you forget, like, because human beings are so resilient, you bounce back from those lockdowns so quickly, but then when you get thrown back into it, it's like, holy shit, we're doing this again. Like, so
Oh
I guess for you guys, you're sort of doing it for the first time and having to figure out how to navigate, like, being
yeah.
strictly locked down for the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Mm,
It has been quite strange, and then just not knowing exactly the T's and C's of the whole situation is somewhat annoying, but it is what it is. I think, yeah, it's such a weird time. It's like giving you the
yeah,
opportunity to spend some time on yourself, and you know, slows
100%.
everything down. It slows everything down, and it sort of, for me, I've had a bit of time to like think about what the important things are in life, and
Yeah,
my kids are sort of up on the border of like Gold Coast, sorry, Queensland and New South Wales. So that's been probably the hardest challenge, is not being able to see them for myself. And
mm,
then my mum's over in WA, so not being able to go see her. So it's just, your
same,
family's
yeah,
over in
same.
WA, right? Yeah. So
Yeah, so my mum is in WA. I haven't seen her since 2019.
yeah,
Um, and every time I try to book, it will be like all of a sudden there's another
cancelled.
lockdown or there's something. Yeah, and like the thing is, I can't complain because I know that almost everyone at the moment is in a similar situation. I've got friends
Of
who are separated
course.
from their kids overseas, and um, it sucks. Like, it sucks for everyone. And like you said, you just got to take it day by day and sort of
100.
um yeah, make the most of. We'll never get this time back. That's the thing. Like, right
Yeah.
now we have so much time and we'll never get this time back, so you have to just utilize it and make the most of it and do what you
Like,
can.
learn another language, or learn how to play piano
Yeah,
or guitar, or fucking
or figure out what you
read
love and
books.
like make something. Yeah,
A
yeah,
hundred
that's what I've
percent.
been
Yeah,
doing.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's cool that you say that, because so many people don't realize until you're out of lockdown. You're like, holy shit, I've done
Yeah,
literally nothing this whole time. So yeah.
well,
So
that's one thing.
sorry, you go.
Sorry, I was just going to say, like, one thing is, like, I look back because I think, oh fuck, the past few years has been so stressful, it's been fucked, like COVID's fucked, and then I look back at where I was when it started, and
Mm,
I'm like, actually, I've made so much positive progress since then,
yeah.
that, like, it doesn't feel like it day to day, but on a larger scale I can really see, like, how I've put that time to good use, so I'm
Yeah.
actually pretty proud of that.
Yeah, for sure. That's honestly good, because a lot, like, including myself, I sort of have been in saying that, like, this is good time to upskill. I really was late to the party in that regard, but I mean, luckily for me, we've still been able to work and do podcasts from
Mm,
home and all that shit. So I've
yeah.
been pretty grateful during this time. Um, so anyways, so thanks for coming on. Honestly, I'm so sorry about the muck around last week and all that, but we're here now. So yeah, tell us a bit about yourself. Tell us a bit about yourself. Where you come from. I know that you were on a certain TV show. Tell us a bit about, you know, what you were doing before that and how that came about.
Yeah, sweet. So I'm originally from the UK. I grew up there. I moved to Perth when I was a kid, and went to school in Perth and did all that. That's why my mum is over there. The rest of my family is still in the UK.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have a close relationship with any of my family really. I've been pretty independent since I was a teenager.
Okay.
And so I moved to Melbourne in 2011 when I was 21-ish. And I as soon as I graduated high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, and I ended up becoming a makeup artist. I just kind of was always interested in makeup and thought, you know, that'll be the path I take.
Yeah.
So I did that for years and years. I kind of did like other little bits and bobs. And then I was working as like a door bitch at a club in Melbourne. And
oh, like the chick that like does the IDs and like turns people
yeah,
away and shit. Yeah.
No, I didn't even do that. I had like a security guard next to me doing that, but I just like literally greeted people as I was like the pretty face at the door that just greeted people. And I was like, hi, have a good night. Yeah, any VIP, cool. Yeah. And this woman came up to me and she was like, oh, have you ever thought about doing reality TV? And I was like, it was weird because like a couple of weeks before that, I was thinking about doing Love Island.
Yeah.
Just my housemate was like, oh, you'd be really suited to reality TV. You should do Love Island UK. And I was like, oh, I couldn't be on a like in a bikini on TV all the time. It's just like not my vibe. Like,
yeah.
I just would be too self-conscious and too shy or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I didn't apply. And then I got approached like 2 weeks later to do The Bachelor. And I was like, fuck it, why not? I'm a yes person. Like I'll say yes to any opportunity or experience. Like
for sure.
So yeah, I like quit my job. I like went and filmed The Bachelor, and I was like, oh, I'm the first like heavily tattooed girl to go on one of these shows
what
in the
year
world,
was that
pretty
in?
much.
Sorry.
That was 2019.
Okay.
So that would have been March 2019. We went away to film.
Yeah.
And then March 2019 I went away to film, and I got like kicked off straight away. I lasted like a week. I did not do well. And then like I came back to nothing. I came back to like no job. Like I was like, what the fuck have I done? This is so stupid. And then I was like, it's cool, I'll do the like little spin-off one. And I had it in my head that I would do that. And then I did end up getting cast for that. And that was like a bit more of a wild experience. Doing Bachelor in Paradise. And then now I'm just kind of like, I guess Bachelor in Paradise came out when COVID hit, and then just sort of been like chilling since COVID hit.
Yeah, that sounds like, honestly, it's just like you hear about people that, you know, go on the shows and everything, and then either something comes of it or something doesn't come of it. Do you think it made it like, do you think it made your life harder? Or
so I was already like an influencer before I went on the show. So I had like I reckon like maybe 250,000 followers before I went on the show. So
sorry, can you give me 2 seconds? My dog is like no, he's just Cinder, no. He's just, sorry about this. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just pause it.
All good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had a bit of a following before I went on The Bachelor. So I didn't really think much of it. I didn't go on for that. I just kind of went on for the experience.
Mm-hmm.
I had also been single for ages. So I was like, oh, if I meet someone out of it, that's
perfect.
Cool too. But like, yeah, I knew that I was competing against other people for a person. So I was like, it's kind of a weird situation, but yeah, just going up for the experience. But for me, when nothing came of being on The Bachelor, I was like, okay, whatever. But I just didn't want to waste that time. Like I quit my job, I wasted time. So I was like, I want to keep going with this because I quit my job and I wasted like time and money going on the show. So I want to
show,
so I kind of like, I was like, I'm going to manifest this shit and be on the spin-off, and that's what happened. And then I kind of did get a platform for that, and it was weird because all of these girls started following me who kind of looked up to me because I had my heart broken on TV.
Okay.
And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
so strange. Like I had no control over that. You know, I got hurt, and like I came in as this really confident, which I am. I'm a very
You're a
confident
confident
person.
person, but you came in confident, and then that
I
happened
came
to you
in
on the show.
cocky, confident. Yeah, and I think it was
Sorry,
funny
I
because
shouldn't
I think
laugh.
like
I'm
no,
not
no,
laughing
no,
at you. I'm
it's
just like
funny.
that's actually a pretty. I feel like that's a pretty cool experience, like to go through that, especially on TV as well.
It was just funny that like you know, I came in being like, yeah, you know, I never came in the sense that like I can get any man I want, I can do whatever I want, but I came in with the sense of I am who I am, and you can take it or you can leave it.
Yeah.
And um and then yeah, I ended up getting together with this guy, and he dumped me, and so many girls reached out to me just like really relating to my experience and really wanting to talk about that. And so I was kind of, I felt really honored to be able to have a bigger platform where I could speak about, you know, mental health things, or you know, because I had to go through the whole situation and then relive it again when it was on television, and that did affect my mental health. So it was nice to have a platform with these young women who I can speak to about confidence, about body issues, about self-esteem, mental health, you know, all these things that I'm really passionate about anyway.
Yeah.
So that was the best thing to come out of it. Obviously I like made a bit of money out of it and did all that as well, but having that platform to speak to like young women, I think, and young men as well, is like super important.
Have you for like in that, because my friend and I, who also works at YKTR, we touch base on some of the podcasts about like men's mental health and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like it's something that you'd get more like more in touch with when lockdown ends? Do you hear from many females as well during this time?
Yeah, I hear from men and women. I have like more male followers than I do women because I had that pre-existing following from just how I look or whatever, and then I got a big bunch of female followers from the show. I have people reach out every day and tell me that like the things that I post, you know, encourage them or whatever. And it's always something. I have like a little whiteboard over there that has my goals for each year, and one of them was to explore work in mental health. So that was one of my goals for this year, and obviously COVID has sort of put a spanner in the works there, but I've always wanted to have some impact in that industry in some way. I shouldn't say industry, but in that regards, in some way.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, sick. Yeah, it is hard because when I started at YKT, obviously my following is not as big as yours, but it's so sometimes I think sometimes we put out so much content that you know, we forget that. I forget sometimes how people even watch it. I'm just like, this is my job, and then I put out the content, I speak to people, but then I'll get the odd message here and there, or the odd inbox or comment where someone, you know, something that we said's actually touched someone in a positive or maybe a negative way. But you know, it's it is cool to have such an opportunity to help people out like that. I wanted to. Sorry, you go.
Sorry, I was just going to say, do you feel like you have a responsibility to be careful about what you say and how you say it because of having a platform?
Yeah. See, I've only started to learn that. I mean, there was an issue. There was a time at work where I just got too drunk, and I was like, we were on like bloody live, and I was just saying I wasn't saying like really crazy things, but you know, just some of the stuff I was saying was just, you know, you just, as I said, you forget that people watch this and of all ages, and some of the stuff I was saying was so I've learned that the words that I say and use like, you know, I actually listen to. So But yet, in saying that, I don't really hold back on what I believe in. If I believe in something and I know it, if I believe it's true, or if I trust in what I say, then I say it.
You back yourself.
100%. I'm like, and most of the time, there's not really any people that go against it, but I like to rock the boat here and there on what I believe in. And so it's one of the reasons why I started Jordan's Room, the podcast, was because I always found that overseas, men, like over in the US, a lot of females can talk about sex, males can talk about sex or relationships or whatever it may be, and it's not really frowned upon. I mean, there still is that that sort of stigma that females carry if they talk about it, but it's so much more open over there. And I was like, here's a opportunity in the marketplace for myself, because I'd meet so many females, like, in Sydney and whatnot, and I've always gotten along with females, and I was like, shit, why didn't I start a podcast where I can actually openly talk about it, and also give females a platform to speak to men on different ways, like men and women think, because there's so many podcasts that females talk to females about certain situations and males talk to males, but nothing really that goes against or with each other, so.
And everyone tiptoes around everything as well. Like, it's always like, I have to be really careful about, because I'm someone who just says whatever the fuck. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know that I have a responsibility, but like, I'm not shy. I will talk about especially things like sex, and I'm not overtly out there. I'm still quite conservative in some sense.
Of
like
course,
I'm not like walking around
being
like, spit in my mouth, whatever, but like, I definitely like
I have done that before, actually, on my podcast, and I fucking my mum listened to it, and she's just like, she's like, what the fuck, what do you mean spitting in mouths and shit? And then I started to realize, like, okay, maybe I need to pull back a little bit, but like, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm like to my mum, you've got fucking 5 kids.
They came from somewhere.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think people I mean, this even happened when I went on the show. Like, I came in and I said, I'm a bit of a bad bitch, and I've got these 2 secret weapons, and and then I was like, oh, this is my personality and my charisma, like, get your mind out of the gutter. And I was like twerking on TV and stuff, and to me and my friends, like, that's how we talk. And I know that these other girls do as well.
100%.
But when they're on camera, they switch it off, and I'm like, why are we being taught to hide that part of ourselves? Like, it's okay to be sexual, doesn't make you a slut. 100%. And even if it does, good on you. Do whatever you want. But like, I talk about sex all the time, doesn't mean I'm getting laid.
Yeah. And that's one I actually copped a bit of backlash for the way that I speak on my podcast. It's almost a silent backlash, like where like I'd go out, and then I'd meet someone, or I'd go on a date, and then they'd listen to my podcast, and they'll be like, oh, you're a fucking scumbag. And then and not in those words, but you'd get that vibe from them, where they're like, oh, you're a fuckboy, you're a player, which is fair enough, but same thing for me. I don't really sleep around, I don't really get around. I'm a one girl type of guy, but just having those open discussions just lead people to the idea that, oh, this guy's a fuckboy, or she's a slut, as you said. So, I mean, I think over time, people will realize that it's more of an open discussion, as you said. So, and it's just like a safe space, apparently.
Yeah, I think talking about it isn't doing it. Do you know what I mean? And even if you are doing it, and even if like women are just, it's like women are so repressed that it gets to a point where, like, for example, I didn't even know a lot of things about sex or my own anatomy or my own, like, my own body until I was in my 20s, and I felt
Yeah.
comfortable talking to my girlfriends about things because I didn't have parents teaching me these things as I grew up. So
Yeah, 100%.
when I got older, I I didn't even understand the symptoms of STDs or anything like that because it wasn't spoken about. And even when you do sex ed in school and stuff, it's still sort of like shun, you're a shy teenager or whatever, so you're not
So
going to speak up
giggling.
about stuff. And it wasn't until I was in my late 20s when I had good girlfriends who were open. I've got friends that work in porn and stuff now, so we talk about everything.
No way.
So I'm just like, so my two best friends ended up in porn.
Will they come on the show?
Well, yeah, probably. I don't know. They're pretty shy, which is kind of weird. But
yeah.
My two best mates from the past 10 years both work in porn.
Crazy.
And they're both in long-term relationships, and I'm the single one.
That's the thing that sorry to interrupt, that
no, go ahead.
I've always wanted to talk to a porn star to see how that whole, because it's a lot of mental toughness to know that your partner's sleeping with someone else and to still keep that in the back of your mind, as so anyways. But sorry, continue.
I think there can also be, I've got quite a few friends that work in sex industries, whether it be like strippers, porn stars, OnlyFans, whatever it might be. Yeah. And every relationship dynamic is different. Most of the people I know that work in the sex industry are in relationships, and all their relationships are different. Some of them are in really codependent relationships where the man is quite dependent on the woman. And then there's other ones where the guys are just super secure in themselves and but it's crazy to me. I can't imagine being with someone. I try to put myself in the perspective of the guy, and I can't imagine myself being in a relationship with somebody who is getting attention like that from someone else.
No way.
Like sleeping with other people or hooking up with other people. There's flirting or whatever, and then there's actual physical.
See, I always I like the idea of a relationship when you find someone that you love, and I don't know, I just feel like over time, something happens where it's up to the two people to be really aware of thank you, cheers. Really aware of your partner's happiness and keeping them engaged in the relationship, because I feel like back in the day there was no social media, there was no phones, there was no there was no easy option. So when you have an argument with someone nowadays, it's you can flick onto your Instagram and you've got about fucking 2,000
validate
men.
Yourself somewhere else. You're
like, oh, this guy's got this, so he's just messaged me, so I don't need to be putting up with this. Where that I feel like that's what creates the sort of a toxic environment. If
100%,
you don't put in a certain amount of effort for someone to then go, I'm going to look somewhere else. So
I blame social media for the reason that I have failed at all my relationships for the past. So I was always in long-term relationships up until 7 or 8 years ago, and then that was my last long relationship, so over a year. It was about 2 years. We broke up, and then after that I told myself, because I was really toxic in that relationship and I knew I was. Again, if things weren't going right in the relationship, I was seeking validation from online, and I had an online presence at that point as well, so I was getting hit up by rappers or whoever, and
you're
my
I'm sweet.
My poor boyfriend, he would, we'd have a bad day and I'd be like, oh well, who can I message over here? Of course, then, or whatever. Yeah. And so I was like, that's a real toxic thing, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I spent a year single, completely single, and then since then I find my difficulties with finding a relationship is that I'm over that. I don't give a fuck who's in my DMs. I really don't care. Yeah. But now the guys that I'm with, I'll get together with someone and they're doing that. or they're on the
Right.
come up, or they're, you know, they're
I see
getting
what you
people
mean.
in their
Yeah.
DMs. And so for me, like, I'm like, okay, if you want that attention, that's all good, that's whatever. But they also think that I'm doing it. They just
Mm.
assume. And so I think it's like that guilt projection of like, because I don't care I don't give anyone
Is
attention.
it
Like,
is it
I'm,
karma? Sorry about my hair. Is
yeah,
this all
maybe it
right? Can I
is.
keep my hat off? Is that cool?
Yeah, do it.
Cheers.
Do it. Um, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's like the karma, but fuck me, 7 years of karma is a bit much. Did I break a
Well,
mirror or some shit? Like,
no, that's how I think too. I'm like, shit, is this karma for me? I haven't even done anything. I'm gonna put my hat back on. Actually, my hair's fucked. Sorry. I
all
always do
good.
this. No, I'm always like, is this karma? But I don't know. I've never really like, I've just
Have
gone
you
into
done
the
some fucked
whole,
up shit though?
no, not really. It's more just like, I've no, but this is me. It's good karma. This is my good
Oh, good
karma
car. Okay.
stage. Yeah, good karma.
Okay.
So, but my thing would have to be, my biggest thing is like trust, right? Is because, and I've openly spoken about this. I don't like have a negative relationship with any of my family members and stuff like that anymore. But I I've always had the issue with trusting people, right? To a point, and I've tried to make an effort to be better at this and sort of see when those triggers are like pulled in certain times. But in the past, you always get, I've been hurt and let down by people closest to me, like family members wise, friends wise. So then I feel like I've had such a bad experience in that aspect of my life where like I don't trust people, or like I
Yeah.
trust someone too much. I trust someone so much, and then as soon as I see like a red flag or something that's so minute, I'm like, that's fucked, and then I push them away. So I mean, have you experienced that type of behavior within yourself, or is it like right now, as you
Um,
said, when you're dating other people and they're on the come up, do you ever have those trust issues? Or
no, so one thing is that like I don't really have the jealousy thing. I'm actually so for example, like the last kind of relationship I was in, I knew that he was DMing other girls. I could
right,
see that he was going and liking their photos and doing all that stuff, and I never brought it up because I don't care that much. Like, I'm like, that's social media, that's whatever, that doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is how you're treating me and your consistency with me, and your actions towards me, and that's what I care about. But when that changes, so my trigger, or my core wound is abandonment.
okay,
And I have a hard time believing that anybody that I kind of fall in love with won't leave me. And
mm.
so as soon as I get the slightest shift in energy and I feel like I'm about to be left, I'll just disappear. Because it's just easier for me,
Of
or
course,
not
you
just
if you've
disappear.
made
I
it.
will put in the effort. And I'm very vocal about it, but I need to be with someone who's quite emotionally intelligent, that understands that, hey, this is my trauma, and I need to be able to talk about this with you, and for
100%.
you to understand that, so that when you're having a bad day, you don't just not text me back, because to me that's going to be abandonment, and that's when I'm going to like freak out. So I think as is with any kind of like trauma, that like we were saying earlier, like everyone has trauma. Communication is so imperative
Yeah,
to be able to have a healthy relationship. And if you have a communication gap between you and your partner, it doesn't matter how well you connect in other areas, whether it be like sexually or romantically, or any
just
other
like,
way. If
yeah,
you
just
don't communicate on the same level, then you are not going to work out. And that was
yeah,
my last relationship, just fell to pieces because we did not communicate the same. Like, he would just cut off as
yeah,
soon as he got, like, has a lot of deep insecurities, and so when he would see me getting attention online
it
or
just,
anybody, he would just snap
yeah,
and feel like I was going to leave him, so he would cut me off. And then that to me is abandonment. And then it's just like, okay, well, we both iced each other out. So there's no communication.
I get it. I think
Yeah.
with
And so
sorry, you go.
you've just got to learn how to, I was just going to say, like, for me, I'm really actively working on, I know that I can just go cold. So I now actively say, okay, well, this is how I'm feeling. This is a situation, take it how it is, or leave it, or whatever you want to do. But this is where I stand. And I'm getting better now at communicating those things, but you can't force somebody else to be able to communicate in the same way.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I find with my communicating, like I suck at it. I just suck at it. I really suck at it.
A lot of men do. It's really hard. You're taught, society teaches men not to communicate emotion and not to communicate.
I just go around in circles. I go around in circles. I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. And then I do the opposite when I'm fucking. So
we all do though.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. I think the best part of something, the best part of if you're seeing someone, or well, my idea is if you're able to, work on things and then build from it. Do you know what I mean? Is like sometimes people just, as you said, you're like, oh fuck, here we go again, and then you jump on Instagram or messages, oh hey, like a photo, shit like that. So I think in your mind you've already tapped out. And then, you know what I mean? And then it's just like, it becomes a vicious circle.
I think some people tap out before it's even ended. So some
100%.
people will get like this feeling, this insecurity when say you get like a few months in and they go, well, I'm just going to have a backup plan just in case. And then that's what fucks shit up. So like, for me, this last relationship that I was in ended about, I don't know, like 10 days ago now. And I haven't spoken to another dude or anyone since then. Like I haven't like been in anyone's DMs. I haven't had anything, which for me is like, normally I'm on to the next thing, like, because it's easy or whatever.
Yeah.
But this one, I was like, I actually love this guy. I told him that as well. Like I told him that I love him. And like on the day that we broke up, that was the day we broke up. I don't even know if we were together or not. Because
it's a weird space.
Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I told him I love him. He didn't say it back, which is fine. Love is
That's
not,
sweet.
I don't put love out there to be reciprocated. Like I go into things with love, so that's fine. But I was like, I'm not going to jump to the next thing. I'm going to let myself actually heal in an organic, natural way.
Yeah. That's what people do, right? Yeah. That's what people do.
Yeah. They're filling the chemical void.
Yeah. And sometimes you can't help it, right? If you meet someone, but yeah, I just think it's so fucking, it gets boring and shit. And then all of a sudden you're like, but that's honestly, I respect that you're able to give it time. Have you heard from him lately?
No, I messaged him like 3 days ago because I actually woke up and I was just really sad. And I was like, I miss you. And he's like, I miss you too. I haven't disappeared, just so you know. Like, so he's kind of keeping me at an arm's length. I think he's like kind of keeping me there just in case. I don't know.
Oh god.
But I've mentally like started to heal. So unless he gets his shit together in the next like 48 hours, I don't know if he's gonna listen.
Well, hopefully,
to this, but,
hopefully he watches this and like
I kind of hope not.
He reads between the lines, man. Because at
the end of the day, like if I heal and I move on, I can meet someone else that's not a product of my pain. So if I jumped from talking to him to talking to someone else just to fill that chemical void, those withdrawals, then I'm just forming another trauma bond. I'm just forming a bond with someone based off of my pain, and that's not going to help anyone. That's not going to be healthy for me or that person.
I it's weird that you say that because never mind.
No, say it. I want to hear it. Tell me.
Oh, we have this we have this ongoing joke that I'm like a rebound guy.
I'm a rebound girl.
You're a
Everybody
rebound
goes
girl?
from me to
Yeah.
rebound.
It's
Yeah,
really weird.
because
It's really
I'm
heartbreaking,
hot.
actually. Yeah,
Yeah,
same
it's
here.
shit.
So I'm like, it's a funny thing because that's why I was saying you sound a lot like myself where, so well, it is what it is. Someone's going to do it.
I don't. Well, I like make a joke about it that like I'm literally everybody's rebound person, and then they like kind of get bored of me, or
they're like, hey, thanks for this. I'm off. And I'm like,
or
oh
I'm
shit,
the bad bitch that they wanna like secure because they're like, oh yeah, Jess Brody, like I want to get her, whatever, and then they fall in love for like a month. And then they get over it. Then they like secured the bag. Then they fumble the bag. And
they miss the bag.
And then then 3 months later, they miss the bag. They're like, hang on, I'm broke again. I'm coming back.
This is for me is like, I get this, he's a bad boy. He's a fuck boy. And he's got tattoos and he's this and he's that. But I'm actually the biggest softie that anyone will meet. I'm just like, I love you. Like if I love someone, I'm just like, I love you, man. And then they're like, whoa, shit, this guy's fucked.
Yeah, like I was saying, like I tell people I love them, and like if it's not reciprocated, then that's fine. And like,
yeah, that's sweet.
I go full, the song, the Destiny's Child song, Cater to You.
Yeah.
That's me in a relationship.
I'm
like, I will fucking wash your shoes. I will cook you dinner. I'll fucking give you a massage. Like I'm the biggest softie, and everyone thinks I'm gonna be this like sassy bad bitch.
Yeah. That's like me. And then sometimes it can be overwhelming. They're like, this guy's fucked, but then you just really can't win, because then if you're like, I'm all in, and they're like, this guy's too much. Not just even for me, but just in general. I'll get heaps of guys DM me about this. They're like, there you go. You meet a girl and you're like, I love you, I'm into you, do this, do that, spend time. And then the chick's like, maybe you can give some advice on this because it's got me fucked up. But the chick's like, this guy's too full on, this guy's too needy, or this guy's got, he's too into me. Maybe that's not what you think, but this is the energy that you're getting. And then a girl will meet a guy who's like, maybe does that come with age, where a female is actually, or is it just like an attractive thing? Like when you're attracted to someone, it just depends. If you're really attracted to someone, do you get that energy, or do you accept that energy, or is it like, fuck that?
I am like, this is one thing that I get emotional about that I'm trying not to, but like not right now, but like in general, is that like I have not had a man tell me or a partner. I'm bisexual, so man or woman, a partner.
Oh, you bisexual?
Anyone? I am, yeah.
Oh, what the heck? Whoa.
So whoa.
Congrats.
So I haven't had. This isn't me coming out. I have come out.
Oh, okay, sweet.
So this is all good.
I was like, well, this is breaking news.
No. I was in a relationship with a woman for a long time.
Okay.
But I haven't dated a woman for a while, so I don't know.
Do you prefer women or men?
They're different. So they're completely different. Like I think physically I'm more attracted to women. I find myself like I will walk down the street, and if I see a hot girl, like I'm like obsessed. But there's things that I can get from a male relationship that I can't get from a female, and vice versa. Not just dick, but I feel a lot more secure with a man.
Like, safe.
Yeah, there's a lot of like energy. Right. Yeah, that safe energy, which I've never had because I don't have a dad. So I can kind of get that out of a male relationship. And then out of a female relationship, there's a lot more like compassion and nurturing and
understanding,
those kind of things. Yeah, so
would you date a male and a female at the same time?
I think I'm quite monogamous. I don't think that I would want to date two people at the same time, or have like a 3-person relationship. I'm quite strictly monogamous. Like but what was my original thing that I was talking about before, the bisexual thing. Oh, so I haven't had a partner tell me that they love me since my last like long-term relationship, which was 7 years ago. So I've gone 7 years without having someone that I've been dating or care about or whatever. Yeah, it
not
is
a bad
kind of
thing.
fucked
It's not
up.
a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I mean, sorry, continue. Sorry, I don't think it's a bad thing at all.
You do get to a point where you're like, am I unlovable? Is it like, what's, you know, wrong with me, or why does these things keep failing for me, or why, you know, time and time again. So when I do meet someone who's kind of giving me their everything, and I'm, you know, the interest is mutual, then I'm all in. Like, I'm like, sweet. But and that's the last guy I was with, which was for about 6 months. It was like that. It was like the energy was reciprocated, everything was all sweet until one day.
One day.
Until one day. But yeah, it's like, I think I don't think your energy can change the situation if it's the right person, because it like, you know, I was with a guy, we were both, this was last year, we were both all in. It was sweet for 6 weeks. We were just obsessed with each other, you know, and then I was a rebound. You know, he'd just gotten out of a relationship. He was a month out of a relationship. And I think it sunk in, and he realized, he was like, I really care about you as a person. You're like awesome. You're my best friend. And I don't want to hurt you. And I know I can't give you long-term what you need. Yeah. And so broke it off. And if he wasn't a good communicator, that would have come across as I was too much. I was too loving. I was too, you know, but because we were both very good at communicating, we could understand what was going on. But I think in that situation where, say, if you're, you know, say if we were dating and you were too full on, and I was like, well, that wall would be coming from somewhere else. It would be coming from, I have unresolved things that I need to sort out, and I don't want to hurt you. So therefore I'm going to let you go because I can tell that you're into it. And and I can't give you what you need. So I think it's more got to do with underlying things. I don't think you should ever regret giving something your all, or just being authentic to your intentions. Yeah. If your intentions are to have a relationship or fall in love, then be that person.
Yeah, I love that.
It's beautiful.
No, I love that. And it's just a weird time. I just find it's a weird time for relationships. I mean, I maybe can name on one hand friends of mine that are actually in, and I know that love exists, and you know, people find their soulmates, and I do believe that it's out there. I just think there's so many more like barriers to climb, and people have a lot more trust issues, or I believe people have trust issues that don't even know they have trust issues, and it's they're masked by something else, like you know, like maybe just it could be anything. It could be masked by anything else, but I believe people have certain issues that they don't even understand that they have, that won't allow them to open up.
So I think a lot of people don't understand their own trauma, and they don't not necessarily not have the emotional intelligence, but don't have the time or the energy to put into educating themselves on why they are the way that they are. They don't know. And so like, I've spent a lot of time doing this like healing work on myself to understand why I act the way I do in relationships, and why I can project things. And, you know, you need to just be responsible for the way you act in a relationship, and not your partner. And I think too many people go, oh, well, they're doing this, and that's making me feel like that. And it's like, well, no, they're doing this. You control how you react to that.
100.
Only you could. That's the only thing you have control over, is how you see the situation and how you react. So it's more about doing the work on that than doing the work on like trying to find the right partner. And then these days we've got social media, so it's almost like we can pick and choose, you know, build a bitch, find your perfect partner. And that's not the truth. That's not reality. No, like, it's not the grass is always greener there.
No.
it's what work can I do on myself, and then I will naturally attract the right person for me, because I'm being my authentic, genuine self.
Yeah, and that's so true as well. I think once you make peace, especially if you're in the limelight, once you make peace with who you are as a person, and you deep down, you know how you are, you know what I mean? Like, and what type of energy you give out. And I feel like that's when you will start to meet the right people that, you know, whether it be a friend, whether it be a partner, you know, whatever it may be. But I feel like once you make peace with the idea of who you are, and you don't care what anyone thinks, I genuinely believe that's when you start to meet the right people in your life.
Yeah, and just understanding what's important to you and what fills your cup, you know what I mean? Like, like when you know that, for me, for example, I know that like good energy and positivity and gratitude and those things fill my cup, and so I fill my life with that, and then like attracts like. So I'm going to attract people that are on that same wavelength, and that, as, you know, on that same frequency, and then that's when I will make friends and meet people that are on that same level as me. And I think that will come naturally. I'm not trying to force that. I'm not trying to go out and find
Sorry
these
about
people.
That buzzer, eh?
It's
just
okay.
a door buzzer. Yeah. I 100% agree with you. I wanted to finish up on just a few questions that we had. Sorry. Simba. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just bringing it up.
My co-star just said, "Stop being codependent."
Is that app?
Yes, it's an astrology app, even though I know I say I don't believe in astrology, but okay, it's just funny.
I've got a few questions here. Sorry again about the barking. That's just the perks of working from home. So okay. These are just questions from some of the people that follow me. So good day. Little question. Do guys get intimidated by your tattoos?
Yes.
Yes.
Short answer, yes.
Yeah.
I think some guys think that it means that I'm like kind of a bit naughty or like kinky, or I like pain or whatever. And is
there any truth to that?
I think no, I fucking hate getting tattooed. It hurts. I hate it. But it's just like, I don't know why I've even got them. I've just always wanted them. I think I'm like a bit of an attention seeker, and it was just one of those things when I was younger that I ended up getting. But
I wanted to get my neck tattooed, and my mum was like, "Nah, bro."
It was mine. But then I was like, "You abandoned me at 16, so I'm gonna do whatever I want." So now I've got tattoos.
Okay. All right. What's your favorite tattoo you have, and why?
I have one on the back of my thighs. I don't know if I can show you. I'm in basketball shorts, so don't judge me.
No, that's all right.
I've got like script on the back of my thighs.
Yep. Oh, okay.
It says broken clocks. And I'm not wearing underwear either, so it's probably not the best idea. It says Broken Clocks, which is a song by SZA that I really love, and someone's calling me. And I got it literally like 2 weeks before the start of the COVID pandemic, and it just kind of was quite serendipitous that like I got Broken Clocks tattooed on.
Yeah. So that's your favorite.
When everything kind of stopped. Yeah, I just find it like I don't know. I really like the way it looks, but like almost like it was like a sign for me. It was like you're getting free time right now, so use it. Like
it's like the batteries have been pulled out.
Exactly. So I don't know. At the moment, that's my favorite tattoo, but it changes all the
time. Sorry, I'm just reading through some of these other questions.
Okay.
Some of my followers.
You can ask some of the 5 times. I don't care.
Okay. What's your worst sex story and experience of all time?
Wow, define worst. Like,
I'm not too sure.
Just bad sex. I reckon probably
it could be just like, what's your worst date? What's your worst date? Like, what? It could be your worst date that you've ever been on.
Oh, I went on a date. Okay, so this is the one time I tried dating apps, which was quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And I went on a date with this guy who was quite significantly younger than me.
Right.
Um, and I think he was 21 and I was like 28 maybe. And we went on this
Jesus,
date.
that's a big fucking.
Yeah, I'm really bad for dating people way significantly younger than me. We went on this date. We just went to some little like casual restaurant, whatever. And he was lovely. He was a male model, and he was a scientist, and I'm really into science stuff. So I was like, cool, this should be sweet.
This should be cool.
Yeah, and then like it was fine. We didn't really connect on any kind of level. Oh, he was also 6'7", so I was like, yeah, fuck me up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm 5'1", so I'm like,
yeah.
I got no dad, so give me two men sitting on top of each other.
That's too good.
Yeah, and then he ended up like afterwards he was like still messaging me, and then he drew a picture of me, and he can't draw. And he drew a picture of me with like angel wings and a halo and like sent it to me.
Oh, that's
and
fucked.
I was
like the actual physical form of it, or just via message?
Yeah, it was. Oh no, it was via message. It
Oh,
was a
okay,
photo,
okay.
and he sent me a big long because I had actually ghosted him. I think not ghosted, but like
you're just like, no, it wasn't working.
Weaned off. Yeah, I just wasn't vibing with it. And then he sent me this long message being like, you know, you just really boosted my confidence, and you know, you did all these things for me, blah blah blah. We went on one date, and then he's like, and I drew this picture, and rah, rah, rah. And I was just like, okay, it was one date, all good. But
so was the
bad
photo? Was the picture fucked?
It was fucked. Like it was me, like a picture from my Instagram that he had drawn, but
like
then
wings
in
and
like
shit
pencil,
on it.
wings
fucked.
and a halo, and I was like,
good on him, good on him, man, good on him. I shouldn't say that.
I was gonna say
put down a young
like,
king.
I shouldn't say it's bad because it was actually just very sweet.
But you got to
like,
call a spade though.
Yeah, it was just bizarre.
I just feel like it's like one of those things. If you know you can't sing, then just don't sing. You know, like don't put yourself out there to be like, oh shit.
I wonder if he knew that he couldn't draw though, because like
I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes people can't just take a good look in the mirror and go, "Fuck, man, that's just not me." You know, but it is what it is.
It was
good on
strange.
him. Good on him. All right,
he tried.
I just need to quickly. What tracks do you? What's your favorite track when getting tattooed? A lot of tattoo questions.
So yeah, I tend to get a lot of them. I listen to because I'm a tattooist as well. So when I'm tattooing, I like to listen to like 90s pop music, and like Shania Twain, Spice Girls, like all that shit. When I'm actually getting tattooed, I listen to kind of angry music, I think. Like I listen to a lot of like gangster, like 90s gangster rap, and like I love like Dr. Dre and like Snoop Dogg and all that kind of stuff, like West Coast rap. Because it makes me feel hard, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I'm usually like, I don't get tattooed that much these days anyway. Like,
you're happy with like content with what you have?
I also hate it. It's just so shit getting tattooed.
All right, we'll end up on this one.
Hit me.
Sorry, I'm just reading it. Some people are so stupid. All right, here's the last one. Where did you get your tattoos, and why did you start getting tattooed? So like, do you work at the place that you get tattooed now, or have you there from all over?
Oh no, mine are from all over, but mostly from so I started getting tattooed when I was 15.
Yeah.
And I'm 32 now. So it's been a while, but I started getting them. I always wanted them since I was like 12. I remember telling my mom that like as soon as I was old enough to get a tattoo, I was going to get a tattoo, and she was like, okay. I've got them from all different artists, but most of like this arm, my leg, was done by a girl called Kat Abdi in Perth when I was 18.
Yeah.
She lives in London now. Her work doesn't even look like this anymore, obviously. Like it's been so long.
Yeah. Well, she's just obviously gotten better or just over time.
Yeah, like I mean, it's been almost 15 years. So she's well, it has been 15 years. So she's like, her work's fucking phenomenal
Killing,
now.
yeah,
She's
crazy.
really, really well done. But yeah, so when people ask me where I get my tattoos done, I'm like, it doesn't even matter because the artists don't even do work like that anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all
Oh,
changed.
sweet. All right. Well, we ended there, but thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks for
I'd
having
love to
me.
jump on. I'd love to jump on again in the near future. And I mean, obviously, if COVID restrictions ease up and whatnot, and you can travel to Sydney, I'd love to have you in the office and meet the crew.
Yeah, I'm always in Sydney, so I'll let you know next
Yeah,
time
for
I'm up there
sure.
for sure.
For sure.